will never be successful if you do not do this one thing. And this subject that we're going to speak about today is very, very close to my heart. Simply because I've always struggled with dealing with this subject and always struggled doing quantum jumps in new realities. Every single time I was trying to make progress, it always seemed that I came back to the same place. I seemed cursed in some way, right? I always seemed to do whatever effort the world was requiring of me, but yet still coming back to the same place. And that's because I didn't understand the power of the subconscious mind. If you've been following me for a long time, you know that we are deep into metaphysics, esotericism, the basically unseen forces of success, one of which is the power of the subconscious mind. Realize that 95% of what you do every single day on a daily basis is literally directed by your subconscious mind. And 95% of what we do, we don't even have a control over. We don't even do things consciously. So if you're not even aware of the power of your subconscious mind, number one, so you don't have any awareness, and number two, you don't even know how to reprogram your subconscious mind or know how to feed it good thoughts to direct it in the right way, you will forever self-sabotage in some way, because you will forever work against your goals. You may have all the good intentions in the world. If you don't realize that there is a hidden unseen forces that is working against you, and you're not able to disarm it, or you're not able to pivot it for it to work in your favor, then obviously you will forever see the same circumstances and events in your life, and you will call it fate. Like, oh, I'm cursed, my destiny is not to be great, my destiny is not to be successful. And a lot of this thinking you can see in families. A lot of the parents are telling their kids, oh, success is not meant for us, we are the little people, success is inherited in the elite circle, this is not for us, etc., etc., etc. And the thing is, this is such a debilitating and weakening viewpoint, but you can actually rewire all of this, and we're going to speak about this today in this short video before I have a meeting with one of my very good friends and clients. But it's important to understand how the subconscious mind, why it's so important, and what's actually this reality that we call life. I want you to imagine, first and foremost, as an introduction, a mirror, okay? I want you to understand that the world is simply a mirror, and we as human beings, we have the capacity of being in the twilight or the mid-zone of the mirror, meaning that there is a physical aspect of ourselves, and then there is this spiritual, metaphysical aspect of ourselves. And the beautiful thing is that this world, in of it itself, is not just static. Again, if you look at the subatomic level, you can see that particles actually also behaves as electromagnetic pulses, electromagnetic signals, electromagnetic waves. And they're constantly changing. That's why there is this axiom saying that the only constant is change. It's basically because this world is constantly changing. You are constantly changing. Your molecules, your electrons in your body are constantly vibrating. Therefore, you're not static, you're not solid. This world, this Jaguar, this supercar that I'm driving, that I'm taking for a ride right now, and enjoying beautiful landscape with, you're going to see in 3, 2, 1 now. Nothing is static, okay? Everything is moving, everything is vibrating. That's one of the hermetic laws that the ancients of old have found out. And when I'm speaking of the ancients of old, I'm speaking about the mages and the real knowledge that was used to erupt the Egyptian pyramids, for instance. That type of knowledge, that type of power. So either way, we want to imagine a mirror. And we as humans, we are in the middle of this mirror, of this metaphysical real mirror. The physical world right now is pure vibration. And these vibrations, scientifically, are this world is scientifically influenced, that's the right term that I was searching, influenced by other waves, other particles, other electromagnetic waves, and other electromagnetic signals. And these electromagnetic signals you can produce them as well. And you can literally change the fabric of reality in real time by sending electromagnetic signals from 2 electromagnetic signal centers that you have in your body. Number 1, the brain. Your brain, that's why, for instance, telepathy exists, because your brain sends electromagnetic signals, and when they enter in sync with somebody else's brain, thought waves, brain waves, electromagnetic signals sent by the brain, then you guys have an instant exchanging idea without a spoken word. And the second, which is 60 to 100 times more powerful than the brain, is your heart. Your heart is the spiritual organ. The heart is the emotion center, right? So what does it mean? It means that if you know how to think properly and direct and intentionally change the quality of your thoughts, and you know how to change the quality of your emotions and your attitudes, you will be able to determine and direct the quality and the quantity of signals that you send out in the fabric of reality, allowing you to change its properties. What does it mean? It means that literally you, by how you think and how you feel, you can change reality. And I know it sounds a bit too technical for some and a bit woo-woo for some, but it's the truth. The truth is, the metaphysical world that you cannot see, and that is the unseen, what we call the ether, the information field, the Akashic records, the variant spaces, a bunch of different names to describe this field, quantum field, is the source of reality. The metaphysical world is the source of reality. And I'm telling you, I've attracted millions simply with the metaphysical world, by my metaphysical understanding. Okay? This is not to be dismissed. Please, if you are serious about your life, you need to study metaphysics with an open mind, because you've been programmed for decades thinking that physical reality is the end all be all, and thinking that physical reality can only be changed with certain types of actions or other physical reality actions, physical reality leverage or levers. No. Study the metaphysical and the spiritual world. It's the source of reality. Imagination is the source of reality. All the geniuses and the prodigies of old were saying this. How they were able to come up with new scientific discoveries, or, being able to solve unsolvable problems, is they were able to tap into a new level and a new degree of intelligence called infinite intelligence, what we humans call infinite intelligence, that was from the field, from the variant spaces, information field, quantum field, ether, Akashic records, whatever you want to call it, variant spaces. Basically this unseen space from which all intelligence, knowledge, and things materialize from. Okay? Why is this such a great prelude and introduction to what we're going to talk about today? Simply because you need to realize that the many worlds model, the many worlds theory, stating basically that there is an infinite amount of universes, that basically we are in the midst of a multiverse where an infinite amount of version of yourself exists. So there's literally right now a multi-millionaire version of yourself, a billionaire version of yourself, a homeless version of yourself, a chef version of yourself, a cleaning lady, cleaning man version of yourself. Whatever it is, there is, all possibilities exist in the quantum field. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to refer that space as and term it quantum field. So there is an infinite variation of possibilities. Everything already exists in this quantum field. And you, right now, your responsibility is not to create anything new. Your responsibility is to align with the thing that you want to attract, or the thing that you want to materialize in physical reality. But again, it's already created as a thought form, as a vibration, even higher than a thought form. It's already exists as a potential, okay? If you haven't watched my YouTube masterclass about the observer effect, or the title is how I used quantum physics to 10x my profit, highly recommend you check it out right after this video, because basically I break down science and how you are literally collapsing probabilities into physical reality, meaning how an idea that you have in your mind, over time, how exactly scientifically you are able to materialize this idea into physical reality. And therefore, if you have like a goal or a desired reality, let's say 10 million, a Lambo, a mansion, financial success, or time, money, location, freedom, I explain to you exactly how and why you're able to bring it to physical reality. And it's extremely important. So now that's gotten out of the way, that there is basically all the things that you desire in your life already exist, you see, because God has already created everything. You simply need to, like a TV or like a radio station, tune into the right vibration and the right identity for you to be able to magnetize that in this physical dimension. By the way, there's an infinite amount of physical dimension, or 3D version of this world. So now that's the good news, right? Because you're able to then know everything that you desire is already created. You just need to attract it. You just need to sink into and tune into this reality of yours that you desire. Now, how do we do that? Well, this is where the subconscious enters in play. Because if you are not able to use the subconscious mind in the direction of your dreams and goals, you will forever stay stuck. You will forever react, and you will forever stay stuck in the old identity, in the old reality, because an identity equals a reality. I'm going to repeat that also, because one of the ways to reprogram the subconscious mind, quite tedious way, but it is one of the ways, is repetition. Now, we're going to accelerate the reprogramming of your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind, again, I'm repeating myself, 95% of what you do every single day is determined by your subconscious mind. So it is extremely important for you to know how to make it an ally of yours instead of an enemy of yours. Most people are completely asleep, not aware that their subconscious mind is working against them. That's the main work that world-class hypnotherapists, if they know what they're doing, are doing with their clients, is making the unconscious conscious, as Carl Jung said, making the unconscious conscious, and allowing them to reprogram it consciously and then put it back in the unconscious, basically. That's what hypnotherapists are doing, the real one, not the scammer ones, right? Cool. So you have different brain waves, okay? Your brain and your conscious and conscious mind operate in different states. You have different brain waves. I'm sure you've heard of alpha wave, gamma waves, beta waves, theta waves, delta waves. Delta waves, we're basically going to train ourselves and focus on ourselves on two types of waves, alpha and theta. Delta is deep sleep, theta is deep meditation, alpha is calm flow, restful type of meditative state. Cool. Our goal is to capitalize, and by the way, why I'm speaking about theta and alpha is basically when your brain is in theta states, or your mind is in theta states, it is the doors of your subconscious mind are open, which is why meditation and visualization after meditation, because meditation allows you to go from alpha to a more theta state, therefore opening up the doors to your subconscious mind. Always meditate before you visualize, otherwise it won't have the same impact. Meditation allows for you to have a clean slate. Visualization allows you for you to reprogram and add something on that clean slate. The problem is, if you have a full glass of Coke, if you add some water, you're not necessarily going to see water come in the glass. It's going to take a long time before the water over time replaces the Coca-Cola in the glass. So better just remove the Coca-Cola and then pour water in the glass. That's the same thing with meditation and visualization. That's why it's so important for you to first visualize, to create an empty slate, to reprogram, and then you add programming with visualization. Okay? So first and foremost, it's important for you to be aware of these theta states, theta brainwaves, for you to then program your subconscious mind in the right way. So there's many ways of doing it. Number one, you meditate and you really relax to the point of you feeling to kind of like letting go. You feeling like you're drifting off. That's when you start to then subtly input specific images in your mind over and over and over again. Okay? That's one of the ways of you to reprogram your subconscious mind. Train yourself to feel the feelings that you would have with those images. Treat them as real. Imagination is as real as this physical reality. It's just a different vibration. Okay? Number one. Number two, there's twilight states. What we call twilight states is basically the same thing, but when you're drifting off to sleep. When you're drifting off to sleep, I always like to put some conscious visualization and then just some recording of affirmations in the background, depending on my mood, depending on what I feel like. But I would highly recommend, when you're off to sleep, train yourself to do that every single night. When you're off to sleep, instead of just letting your thoughts wander, I would recommend just consciously inputting the desired reality, images of your desired reality, of your goals, into your mind over and over and over again. And I would recommend focusing on 1 or 2 or 3 max images at the time. You don't want to overwhelm the subconscious mind, okay? The subconscious mind, if it's programmed in the right way, 95%, it will do the actions every single day that will be in your favor. But again, if there's too many orders for your subconscious mind, it's going to feel a bit lost. It's going to feel a bit confused, like a waiter at the restaurant, right? If you're asking for more than the entry, the first course, the second course, and a dessert, the guy is going to think that you're a bit weird, right? So twilight states, when you drift off to sleep, try to reprogram your subconscious mind with the desired reality. And then over time, you're going to see, as you saturate, another way is really to saturate your mind with positive thinking. And I know it's hard at first because our parents were usually very negative. If you're like me, from middle class, or if you are lower class and you're not or higher class, even a higher class have mindset problems, to be quite fair. But if you haven't been really programmed by a rich family, chances are you have limiting beliefs and you have a bad subconscious reprogramming. So you need to develop an insensitivity to negativity. And I know it's hard at first. It's something that took years for me to achieve. But the moment you start to achieve it and you only start to focus on the positive, and I'm not saying to you like, be unaware and don't deal with problems and stuff like that. Of course, you're going to have problems, but it's all about the perception that you have of the problem. One problem may be the biggest issue in the world for somebody who doesn't have any mental toughness, whereas you, because you have a deep metaphysical understanding and you know that everything is going to be all right because God is actually on your side, because you have a connection with God, a connection with the universe or the higher forces at play, you're not worried. You're not worried that things aren't going to go your way, because you know that everything is designed for a reason, and everything is a lesson in life, and other than lesson, everything is success. Okay? So it's really important to change your perception of life. If you think that life is awful, it's going to be awful. If you think that life is amazing, it's going to be amazing. The world is a mirror, but it doesn't smile before you do. So you need to change self first if you want to see the mirror change. You cannot expect the mirror to smile before you do. You cannot expect the mirror to show you a jacked body before you work on yourself and you see yourself as jacked. You cannot expect the mirror to show you millions if you are not a millionaire in the mind, or if you're not a millionaire yet. And metaphysically, that means you need to first change your perception of reality. Meaning, for instance, let's say that even though physical reality is not giving you the real the signs of what you think yet. For instance, let's say you have $0 in the bank account, you're skinny, and you're a virgin, or extreme example, right? Extreme example, but for you to get the point. You first need to see yourself as jacked, see yourself as a multimillionaire, and see yourself as loved by a beautiful girlfriend before it becomes real. Again, the mirror doesn't smile before you do. So reprogramming your subconscious mind always comes down to, overall, two good habits to reprogram your subconscious mind is to saturate your mind with positivity every single day, and to develop an insensitivity to negativity. Now, what does that mean? Instead of fighting problems, because whatever you resist persists, instead of fighting problems, just shift your attention and shift your focus on something desired. Okay? Because your focus creates your reality, and attention is alignment. What does that mean? Attention, literally where you put your attention, you're aligning with, right? And what do we start off this video by saying? You need a vibrational alignment with what you desire to attract in the universe parallel or the variant spaces quantum field informational field. Okay, so that's ways to reprogram your subconscious mind. And the last one, that is the most powerful one, which I'm not quite there yet, but I'm able to do more and more nowadays, is lucid dreaming. Why? Because when you're lucid dreaming, you're actually really you're actually conscious enough to be able to input specific images once your subconscious is wide open. And that translates like in this weird state where you know you're asleep, you're aware that you're asleep, you're conscious about the fact that you're asleep, yet you decide what is happening. And that is truly, truly powerful, because that's when your subconscious mind is the most open and you're able to dictate exactly what you want. So I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm not gonna go into lucid dreaming, but really lucid dreaming, if you're able to master this craft, you're literally gaining 8 hours. Just imagine, 8 hours instead of you being unintentional about your sleep, you're able to program yourself for 8 hours straight and literally practice your desired reality and desired identity for 8 hours sleep straight. So lucid dreaming is literally a superpower. If you're able to learn how to practice lucid dreaming, highly recommend you do that, and this will help you program your subconscious mind. And this, you'll start to see, as you reprogram your subconscious mind, your identity will change, because you are feeding your mind, and the quality of your thoughts will change. Therefore, your feelings towards life will change, your perception will change. Therefore, your identity and how you behave will change. And therefore, naturally, because your identity changes, there's no reality without a corresponding identity. Your identity over time will change. But that's everything that I'm teaching inside my quantum protocol, how to basically leverage metaphysics at the deepest level for you to time collapse the time it takes for you to attract your desired reality with an online coaching business, an online education business, an online consulting business, or overall, if you already have a business, a brick and mortar business, how you can capitalize on metaphysics to really build exponential momentum in your life to be able to attract success in all areas. Either way, hope it was useful, guys. Sending you peace, sending you love. Come back to this video if you need a reminder on how to reprogram your subconscious mind and feel this vibe, feel this energy. Calm, serene energy, giving to the world. Remember, the world is a mirror. Give positivity, give love to the world before you will receive love and positivity in any shape or form. And one of the forms is money.